This piece of art is titled Vessel with Peccary and was created between 500 and 200 BCE in the Chavin civilization, located in northwestern Peru. In order to fully understand the meaning of this piece of art, we need to dive deeper into what life was like in Peru at this time period. The Chavin civilization was one of the largest civilizations in Peru during this time period and started in 900 BCE and lasted until roughly 200 BCE. Even though the Chavin civilization lasted for a significant period of time, it only started to thrive in its last 200 years, which is where much of the art and culture were developed. The Chavin civilization is very interesting for many reasons, including their lack of a defense system and warfare, and also the lack of a written language. These two aspects of their civilization makes learning about how they lived a bit more difficult, but not impossible. One way that historians and archaeologists have learned about how they lived is through the pieces of religious art found in and near their religious temple, titled Chavin de Huantar. The two main religious relics that this civilization held included the Tello obelisk, which featured many aspects of their daily life, including crops that they grew, water from the Masna and Huachesca rivers that merged nearby, and also their religious figures, and the Lanzon, which is located in the center of a labyrinth below the temple and represented the pivot point where the heavens, earth, and underworld linked. From these pieces, the archaeologists were able to determine the god figures that the Chavin civilization worshipped, that included a fanged jaguar god, which is pictured on the vessel that I chose from the art museum. This god is very prominent in their culture and is chosen interestingly because the location of their civilization is very far away from the jungle where jaguars typically live. In order to get to Chavin de Huantar from the jungle, the civilians would have had to cross the Andes mountain range, which means that their tribe must have migrated from central Peru. The jaguar god depicted on the vessel with Peccary has distinct characteristics that show a human-jaguar mix complete with fangs and claws, but some human-like characteristics, such as the sizing of all of the attributes of the jaguar. This visualization is very similar to the other drawings of their unnamed god, so it is very likely that this piece of art is from the Chavin civilization. The jaguar itself was most likely chosen as it was seen as the top of the food chain and was highly valued to them. In addition to this, the highly acclaimed spiritual guides, known as shamans, supposedly spoke to the jaguar god when they were in their trance-like state after taking hallucinogenic substances, such as coca leaves and the San Pedro cactus plant. On top of the cylindrical bowl where the jaguar god is etched, a dead, bound peccary lays as a sacrifice to their god. Peccaries, also known as skunk pigs, are an incredibly common pig-like mammal that resides throughout Central and South America. Peccaries were commonly used as sacrificial objects in the areas surrounding the Chavin civilization, so it makes sense that one is used on this vessel. On top of the peccary lays a figure that is very common in Chavin art and is what makes the piece recognizable as a stirrup sprout vessel. The vessel itself most likely held materials such as corn beer or a native Andean fermented beverage known as chicha. This piece of art, overall, shows the viewer many layers of Chavin life, with the jaguar god being the most prominent and other aspects of their culture following shortly after, making this piece titled Vessel with Peccary incredibly important and fascinating. Finally, this vessel with Peccary represents what their jaguar god meant to this civilization when language fails. Even though we are unsure of the origins of their religion and how they practiced, we are able to determine that their god was very important to the Chavin people due to the vast amount of art depicting it, including this one. Thank you for watching.